In the heart of Racine, Wisconsin, a story of survival and resilience began its chapter, etching itself into the town's history with an unyielding grip. This is the story of Teri Jendusa Nicolai, a woman whose life took a dark turn, only to emerge from the shadows stronger than ever. Imagine a crisp winter morning, the kind that blankets the world in silence, when Teri's life was irrevocably changed. On that fateful day, a betrayal of unfathomable proportions unfolded, setting in motion a series of events that would push Teri to the very brink of existence. As the sun began its ascent, casting long shadows across the sleepy town, Teri's world was shattered by the hands of someone she once trusted. Bound and left for dead, she fought with every fiber of her being to stay alive, to defy the odds stacked against her. Join me on a journey into the depths of darkness, where the line between life and death blurs, and the will to survive burns brighter than the fiercest flame. This is a story of courage in the face of unimaginable horror, a testament to the strength that lies within us all. In the tranquil suburb of Racine, Wisconsin, Teri Jendusa Nicolai lived a life seemingly painted with the hues of contentment. A devoted mother of two beautiful daughters, Holly and Amanda, Teri's days were filled with the ordinary joys of motherhood, school pickups, soccer games, and bedtime stories. Her radiant smile, a beacon of warmth, masked the shadows that lurked beneath the surface. Teri's world intertwined with that of David Larson, a man whose charm initially shone brighter than the North Star. Their courtship was like a fairy tale, filled with whispered promises of forever and dreams of a blissful future. The wedding bells chimed, sealing their union in holy matrimony. But little did Teri know that the shadows of David's true nature would soon overshadow their marital bliss. Behind closed doors, David's demeanor shifted, his once charming facade crumbling to reveal a darker, more sinister side. The signs of abuse were subtle at first, disguised by excuses and fleeting apologies. A sharp word here, a controlling gesture there. The cracks in their seemingly perfect marriage began to widen. As the days turned into months, the abuse escalated, leaving Teri trapped in a cycle of fear and despair. David's rage knew no bounds, his fists raining down on Teri with a ferocity that shook her to the core. Bruised and broken, Teri found herself walking on eggshells, tiptoeing around the man she once loved, now a stranger consumed by his own demons. The signs were there, hidden in plain sight for those who cared to see. The isolation from family and friends, the constant belittling, and the iron grip of control, all hallmarks of an abusive relationship. Yet, to the outside world, Teri's life appeared idyllic, a facade carefully crafted to conceal the nightmare she endured behind closed doors. As winter's icy grip tightened its hold on Racine, Wisconsin, Teri Jendusa Nicolai's life took a harrowing turn down a path lined with fear and betrayal. David Larson, her estranged husband, concocted a twisted plan to lure her to his house, under the guise of allowing her to pick up their daughters, Holly and Amanda. On that pivotal day, as Teri arrived at David's house, she was met not with a warm welcome, but with a savage onslaught. David, consumed by a blind rage, unleashed a torrent of violence upon Teri, his fists raining down upon her with merciless fury. Bound and gagged, Teri found herself at the mercy of a man she once loved, now transformed into a monster driven by hatred and vengeance. With cold determination, David proceeded to brutally assault Teri, his actions fueled by a toxic mix of rage and malice. He bound her wrists with excessive force, rendering her helpless and unable to defend herself. Ignoring her pleas for mercy, he callously stuffed her into a trash can, a makeshift tomb, and covered her bruised and battered body with snow. As the frigid air seeped into her bones, Teri's mind raced with fear and desperation. She knew that her only hope lay in summoning help, and with sheer willpower, she managed to free her cell phone from her pocket. Despite her swollen face and the duct tape that covered her mouth, Teri dialed 911.
Hello? Can I help you? You're not trying to kill you? Do you have your hands up or what?
Repeating David's address with unwavering determination, hoping against hope that help would arrive in time. Her efforts were not in vain as the police responded swiftly to her distress call. However, by the time they arrived at David's house, he had already fled the scene, taking Holly and Amanda with him. Unaware that they had passed Teri by, the police were left with no choice but to search the premises, unaware of the horrifying truth that lay hidden within the confines of a trash can. Left alone in her icy prison, Teri's hope began to wane. The sirens of the police cars faded into the distance, leaving her with a profound sense of despair. Yet, even in the face of unimaginable adversity, Teri refused to surrender to the darkness that threatened to consume her. With every fiber of her being, she clung to life, determined to survive against all odds. As the cold seeped into her bones, Teri Jendusa Nicolai's indomitable will to survive burned brightly within her, a beacon of hope in her darkest hour. Despite her excruciating injuries, she summoned the strength to free her cell phone from her pocket and dial 911. With her face swollen and her voice muffled by duct tape, she repeated David's address, a desperate plea for help that echoed through the snowy landscape. Her determination paid off as the police responded swiftly to her distress call. However, by the time they arrived at David's house, he had already fled the scene, taking Teri's daughters, Holly and Amanda, with him. Unbeknownst to the police, Teri lay hidden in a trash can, her life hanging in the balance. Left alone in her icy prison, Teri's thoughts turned to escape. With sheer determination, she managed to break free from her restraints and wiggle her phone out of her pocket. Despite the excruciating pain and the overwhelming odds stacked against her, Teri's spirit remained unbroken. As the truck came to a stop and David unloaded the trash can from the back, Teri knew that her only chance of survival lay in pretending to be dead. With every ounce of strength she could muster, she remained silent and motionless, praying that David would believe her ruse. Her prayers were answered as David wheeled the trash can into a storage unit, duct taped it shut, and left her for dead. Alone in the darkness, surrounded by boxes and debris, Teri's resolve never wavered. She clung to life with a tenacity that defied comprehension, determined to survive against all odds. Despite her injuries and the unbearable cold, Teri's mind remained sharp. She knew that her only hope lay in being discovered, and so she mustered all her strength and courage and waved her hand above the trash can, hoping to catch the attention of anyone who might pass by. Her efforts paid off as a passing worker at the storage facility noticed her movement and alerted the authorities. Within minutes, the police arrived, pry bar in hand, ready to rescue her from her icy prison. With trembling hands, they removed the tape from the trash can, opened the lid, and found Teri curled up inside, frostbitten and barely conscious, but alive. As news of Teri Jendusa Nicolai's abduction spread, the police launched a frantic search to find her and bring her home safely. Responding to her 911 call, they arrived at David Larson's house only to find it deserted, with no sign of Teri or her abductor. Undeterred, the police conducted a thorough search of the premises, uncovering vital evidence that would later prove crucial in solving the case. Among the items recovered were Teri's pants, stained with blood, and duct tape, a chilling reminder of the horrors she had endured. The discovery of a large bloodstain on the carpet further heightened their suspicions that Teri was in grave danger. With time running out, the police spared no effort in their quest to locate her, following every lead, no matter how small, in the hopes of bringing her home alive. Their breakthrough came when they stumbled upon a business card for a storage facility in Wheeling, Illinois, among David's belongings. Intrigued by this seemingly innocuous detail, they decided to investigate further, suspecting that David might have used the facility to hide evidence or even Teri herself. Their hunch proved correct when the facility attendant reported hearing sounds coming from one of the storage units, leading the police to believe that someone might be trapped inside. Without hesitation, they raced to the scene, determined to rescue Teri from her makeshift prison. Upon arriving at the storage unit, the police wasted no time in springing into action. Armed with a pry bar, they forced open the unit and were met with a harrowing sight. Inside, they found Teri, barely conscious and covered in frostbite, but alive. It was a moment of triumph and relief for the police, who had worked tirelessly to bring her home safely. Teri was immediately rushed to the hospital, where she received life-saving treatment for her injuries. Despite the immense physical and emotional toll of her ordeal, Teri's spirit remained unbroken, a testament to her incredible strength and resilience. After being confronted with overwhelming evidence against him, David Larson's facade of innocence quickly crumbled. During his arrest, he appeared calm and collected, seemingly unfazed by the gravity of the situation. However, as the police laid out the evidence against him, including the blood found at his house and Teri's frantic 911 calls, David's demeanor shifted, revealing a man desperate to evade justice. In a last-ditch effort to save himself, David concocted a bizarre story claiming that Teri had attacked him with a hammer and that he had acted in self-defense. However, this flimsy excuse was quickly dismantled by the police, who pointed out the inconsistencies in his story and the overwhelming evidence against him. Despite his attempts to evade justice, David was ultimately convicted of attempted murder, kidnapping, obstructing child custody, and interstate domestic violence. His sentencing to life in prison served as a fitting conclusion to a saga of terror and violence that had left Teri fighting for her life. Following his conviction, David continued to try and manipulate the legal system to his advantage, filing numerous appeals and requests for leniency. However, each attempt was met with failure, as the courts reaffirmed his guilt and upheld his sentence. Despite the trauma she endured, Teri remained resolute in her pursuit of justice, refusing to let David's actions define her. Her courage and determination served as an inspiration to all who followed her story, a reminder of the strength of the human spirit in the face of unimaginable adversity. David's arrest and trial were not just a victory for Teri, but for all victims of domestic violence. His conviction sent a powerful message that abuse would not be tolerated, and that those who commit such heinous acts would be held accountable for their actions. As David languishes in prison, Teri has gone on to rebuild her life, becoming a beacon of hope for survivors everywhere. Her story stands as a testament to the power of resilience and the enduring spirit of those who refuse to be silenced by their abusers. Teri's road to recovery was long and arduous, marked by physical pain and emotional turmoil. Despite losing all 10 toes to frostbite and suffering a miscarriage, Teri's spirit remained unbroken. She channeled her pain into advocacy, becoming a vocal spokesperson for victims of domestic violence. Through her work, Teri sought to raise awareness about the signs of abuse and empower others to seek help. Her resilience in the face of adversity served as an inspiration to many, proving that even in the darkest of times, there is light. Teri's story highlighted the importance of supporting survivors and the need for society to take a stand against domestic violence. In conclusion, Teri Jendusa Nicolai's story is a testament to the strength of the human spirit. Her journey from victim to survivor is a reminder that no matter how dire the circumstances, there is always hope. Through her advocacy and resilience, Teri has not only rebuilt her life, but has also become a beacon of hope for others. Her story serves as a stark reminder of the prevalence of domestic violence and the urgent need for action. It is a call to arms for all of us to stand up against abuse, to support survivors, and to work towards a future where no one has to endure the pain and suffering that Teri experienced. Teri's story is a powerful example of the resilience of the human spirit and the ability to overcome even the most harrowing of circumstances. Her courage and determination serve as an inspiration to us all, reminding us that no matter what challenges we may face, we can always find the strength to persevere.